more does nothing for the one who feels less than, for the one who cannot see the abundance he was given at birth. What is going on, guys? Rogelio Diaz here. And today I wanted to talk about why you don't feel like you're enough, right? There's something deeper than that. There's something more than what just is surface level. And in all reality, it has to do with inner child wounds. Because when you ask the question, who was I not enough for? What's the first person that comes to mind, right? There's usually a parent figure or an authority figure that comes into play when you have this inner child wound. But once you change the question, you change the focus. So instead of asking, who was I not enough for? You can begin to ask, what can I do to know that I'm enough, to feel that I'm enough? Or even, what have I done to know that I'm enough? You see, it's an illusion. It's a limiting belief, right? And that's the secret. Once you're able to see past that illusion, you realize that it's not true and that you are more than just enough. You're better, you're so much more than what you think you currently are. But if you keep believing and feeding this false story, this false narrative about your identity, about who you believe you are, you're always going to be looking outside of you to feel that validation, to feel that appreciation, to be loved. So many go their whole lives trying to receive love that have this wound, this inner child wound. But you don't have to go through all that. What if you sat with yourself? What if you really, really took the time to love that inner child, that inner kid within you? All it wants is your attention. It wants your affection. It wants to be nurtured and taken care of. But if you keep pushing it away and maybe escaping, right, through drugs, through anything that will get you away from that emotion, that will get you to avoid feeling what needs to be felt, what your inner child is asking for, then you will never feel like you're enough. You'll always be chasing something. You'll be looking at it, looking for it in other people, and you'll never be able to give that to yourself. So this is why it's hard to be happy, because you're not giving yourself permission to by loving yourself fully. Because when you start to love yourself fully, you start to see the value in you, and you start to realize that you're enough, right? And you stop looking externally for that, but you have to be aware where it stems from, right? Again, who made you feel like you weren't enough growing up? That's your starting point. Because once you realize that, you start to see that you're being disempowered by giving that person an ability over you, to a feeling over you, and trying to get that enough feeling from them. So you want to change your life, you want to change the way you feel about yourself, you want to feel whole, start asking different questions. A question I personally like to ask is, how can I appreciate even more the love that's already inside of me? That's a whole other frequency, right? That's a whole other direction than giving power away to someone else. And you know, a lot of these wounds come out in our finances as well. Maybe you feel like you just never have enough money. Maybe you feel like no matter how hard you work, it's just not enough, right? But there's two sides to that spectrum, because there are billionaires that gather a massive amount of wealth, but it's never enough either. And that is a wound that cannot be filled by external material things, my friend, right? You can own 20 cars, 20 houses, but it will never fill that hole in their spirit, in your spirit. And if you can really, really realize this, we can really get to the point. It's a process. It's not gonna just be a switch that's activated. It's a process to know you're enough. If you can start this journey and really start appreciating what you've been through, who you are right now, you'll start to know. You'll begin to be more aware of how worthy you are of everything you desire. And it comes from a different intention. It doesn't come from trying to prove something, trying to be something so other people can love you or accept you. It comes from your higher self, from your spirit. And with that intention, you move through life truly embracing all of you. But it starts with the questions you ask. And you'll have something that billionaires will never have. You'll be able to tell yourself, I have enough. I am enough. Rather than, again, trying to fill a void your whole life. So, I hope I gave you something to think about today, my friends. If you've been looking for something that's outside of you, you're looking in the wrong places. Start to go within. Start to ask the questions I just shared with you. I hope this helped you. I'm Rogelio Diaz, a spiritual development speaker and a higher calling embodiment guide. Go ahead, subscribe, share, comment. I would love to hear your thoughts on this video. Much love.